So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Peterson. Great move, but still wrangled before reaching the 20. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 63 yards.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play, and I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams, because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4. Shotgun now for Breeze. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
3rd and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. Breeze now to throw. Now Breeze lost the football. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
That's a down and distance coach is always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And the division title out of reach, we know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he powers his way up past the 30. The numbers for Coleman last week. 18 carries, 79 yards.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play, and I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams, because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
Here's the rookie from Wyoming. It's Brian Hill. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Meanwhile, taking a look at what's going on in KC. Well, the Dolphins have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. So the offense looking at a 2nd and 8. So 1 quarter in the books here on Christmas Eve. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. To throw is Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On 2nd down, Hill. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They stick on the ground on 1st down with Hill. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Now, I can't imagine any celebrations being any bigger than your first NFL touchdown. And this rookie running back is still seeking his. He's not going to get it on that play.
Coleman. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. And give them 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
They will run again with Coleman. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And Tevin Coleman polished it off with a touchdown run. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. We remind you, no night game tonight on Christmas Eve, but we make that up with 2 games under your tree tomorrow. Oh, that's nice. I'm just reading the card. I got to give props to our writer, Ed Brady, there. But we start with the Steelers and Texans at 4:30 Eastern, followed by the Raiders and Eagles, a Super Bowl 15 rematch. You impressed that I know that?
I'm very much impressed that you know that. Who was the MVP?
Yep, that'll be at 8:30 Eastern from Philadelphia. With that last carry, Adrian Peterson has gone over 12,000 yards in his career. He becomes the 16th member of that elusive club.
How about that? The next 3 guys that are on the list that he can pass, all Hall of Famers. Thurman Thomas, Franco Harris, and Marcus Allen. No wonder his dad called him AD for all day. That man can go.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Now Breeze. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Deion Jones. In from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know, when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On second down, here's Breeze. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back. But it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
On 3rd down. Here's Kamara. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Now the 9th-year man from LSU, Thomas Morstead, on to punt. Justin Hardy deep for Atlanta. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. The 2nd quarter score from KC. And the Chiefs have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. And here now come the Falcons. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
They start the drive on the ground with Hill. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They run it again with Hill. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. So we are at halftime here on Christmas Eve as we send you over to our headquarters in Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. Both the Saints and the Falcons haven't figured out yet how they're going to move the ball through the air. The defenses on both sides have kept points off the board, and it will be interesting to see if they can keep that up. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Now after the fumble, Coleman's going to stay up the middle, and he capped off the long drive with the TD as they take a 7-0 lead. Now 1st and 10, Jones is going to take down the QB here. This will go as a loss of 10. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. For the second half kickoff, let's get back to New Orleans and Brandon Guy.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. On the return, here's Justin Hardy. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They begin the drive with Coleman. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Coleman now. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Time running out here on the play clock. This is Coleman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Now they'll throw it with Ryan. He completes it to Jones. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Sanu with a grab over the middle. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And oh my, mistake there. Backs up, takes a fair catch at the 3-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Back near his goal line. Here's Breeze. And he's going to go down for a 4th time today, and this time the result is a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt. And if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. This is taken around the 12. Oh, what a move. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. Starts with a handoff to Coleman. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Here's Coleman. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a third down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Saints with an extra defensive back here on third on the field.
Could they blitz?
From the gun, it's Ryan. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. A phrase we said a lot last year, Ryan to Jones for a Falcon first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Now Ryan on second down. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. One quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the fourth. Now Ryan on first down. And he's going to go down here. A sack. They push him back to the 34. Cameron Jordan in there to get him. And that's sack number 12 for him on the year. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
Now Ryan looking deep for Julio. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. Well, you don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Breeze now on first down. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Vic Beasley in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Breeze to throw on second down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Thomas. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Vic Beasley in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now Breeze got to have this one. He's going to loft one deep left side. It's caught inside the 25. An unbelievable play there on 4th and long. 42 yards.
We know it's tough enough to pick up first downs on third down plays, but when you go for it on 4th down, sometimes you're actually just praying, and on that play, the prayer was answered.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. It's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll run with Peterson. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal. Now Breeze. This is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
This is fielded at the goal line. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Elsewhere, they're into the fourth at FedEx Field. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. If they can hold on to that lead to the end, it would up their win total to 7. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They begin the drive with Hill. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Second down following the run. Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Third and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback and then make sure you blanket the field.
Throwing now is Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And the Saints signal for another timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Fresh set of downs here. And they give this time to the tailback. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. 6 yards to go here on second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
The Falcons on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Ryan to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
They got the completion, but they didn't get the first down, so you got to think if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're pretty happy with what you just accomplished there.
Yeah, guy, like you said, got him out of bounds, stopped the clock, kept him short of the marker. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Van Tagteo able to get him for a loss of about 3. Well, the D brought the house. They called the blitz, and they get to the quarterback, overwhelming the O-line.
And I would love to know, and we'll find out later on, was that called before the play, or did they audible into it? Because defenses change plays as well as offenses. Sometimes they get the set they want. They go right to the blitz. And in this case, they nailed it. Got right to the quarterback. No chance on that fourth down.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle. Kind of scan the crowd. See if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
He's back to throw. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. 15 yards through the air and a first down. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy's still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Now they've got to signal that field goal unit, and they have to sprint out there in a hurry.
And this is always difficult on the snapper because his heart rate is way up there. He's got to calm himself enough to make an accurate snap.
Six seconds now, 5 seconds. Down to the final play. That's where we win in this one, a dramatic finish. And I know that the field goal was going to be pretty long, but to not kick the field goal, at least take the chance to win there with 3, what did you think, partner?
You know that in pregame, as he warms up, the kicker gets with the special teams coach, and they figure out a number in both directions, all right, versus win, no win, if it's a possibility, whatever it is. And they give a number to the head coach. This is where I'm good from. Between here and here, maybe that wasn't the number he gave him today.
So for the Falcons, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Saints, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaughan. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from the Bayou.
Cool.